Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Game Rivals. I'm your host Maximilian X, and with me is the man without the master plan, the guy who goes too fast for chili dogs. It's Deniru. How you doing, Deniru?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. For the record, I do have a master plan. I just don't share it because I don't want anyone to copy it.
That's fair. That's fair. How have you been, man? How have you been?
I've been good, man. I've been keeping busy, staying alive, surviving, making
Yeah,
chili for chili dogs. So yeah.
and streaming.
Oh yeah, streaming tons. Like I said, this year is my goal to beat as many games as I can, and I'm actually tracking it through streams. So it's been keeping me motivated, man. I'm flying through games. It's been fun.
Yeah, nice. So what games have you like? I've seen one game that you've beaten, the first one of
Yep.
the year. That was Mega Man Zero, the first one,
Correct. Yep. Yeah.
and then you beat, I think, Sonic Colors.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. How did that go? Like, what are the two experience? Like, how did the like? What was your experience doing those two games on stream?
Well, for one, they're fun, which is a great thing. I like both are series that are very close and personal to me, which is why I started with them.
Mhm.
I've loved Mega Man X and the Mega Man Zero, which is a continuation of the X series. Are games that, you know what, when they came out on the Game Boy Advance, I just never had the opportunity to get them.
Mm.
And then so obviously when the collection came out for the Switch, I jumped on it, and I didn't have the time to play it, or I had other games as priority. So it was good to come back. It was fun. And I didn't realize how short it was. It took like 3 hours to beat.
Yeah,
but I mean,
not a real long game.
No, but
At
I mean, it
least
makes
unless
sense.
you're
We're talking
going for
about a portable
completion,
game,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this was more. It's a portable game as well, so you can't really blame that. But no, it was a lot of fun, and it was a good. I think it was a good one to start off with because it just gave me that like momentum to keep going.
Hmm.
And of course, if we're talking about momentum, we have to talk about Sonic. That game is hot garbage. Sonic Colors Ultimate, for the record, Sonic Colors,
Yeah.
fun game. Sonic Colors Ultimate, hot garbage. It's been 3 years. The patches have done nothing. I'm actually working on a bit of a video where I'm going to be ranting on that. So
Oh,
just kind of
dear.
like, it's been 3 years since Sonic Colors Ultimate has come out. Is it
Yeah.
worth it? Spoiler alert, not on the Switch, because that's what I played it on. And yeah, but the experience has been fun. It's actually been really great to get people to hop in. I've noticed just by doing this, I'm getting more newer people hopping in.
Oh, cool.
And they're like, "Oh my god, how is this game? I've been wanting to try it." And it's been really great to engage in that dialogue.
Yeah.
And then there's people that come in that cheer on. They're like, "Yeah, you can do it. Come on, come on, come on." So it's been fun, and it's been a great way to meet people. So I'm chugging along. I'm on game number 3 right now, which is a tiny little RPG called Trinity Trigger, which I know you've heard of, and I think you also have the collector's edition somewhere back there. I also have the collector's edition. I'm close to finishing it, and that's game number 3. And then after that, I'm gonna let people decide. I'll let them, I'll put a vote on my Instagram to see what I play next.
Ooh, okay. Which ones will you be putting up, or do you don't know that yet?
I'm thinking just to keep things fresh, it's not going to be another RPG, so I might put up a Ubisoft game, because I do have like the Assassin's Creed game, and now I have a little bit more time to play it before Mirage comes out. No, not Mirage. Sorry, Shadows comes out.
Shadows,
Mirage
right?
is the game in question.
Yeah.
And I know I'm just gonna take a look at my backlog. I'm gonna take a look and see what's coming out, and from there I'll pick 2 games, and I'll leave the rest into everyone else's hands.
All right, cool, awesome. Well, speaking of games and the Blue Blur, jeez, I can't speak. The Blue Blur. This is one of the things that we wanted to talk about. We've been talking about it since like Christmas, and mostly because I just happened on it because like this game that we're going to be talking about, and this, well, not even a game, like this soft piece of history that I wanted to talk about, and also at the greater length, is what got this into us. So if you're a Sonic fan or if you're a Sega fan, then of course, Sega does not just make Sonic games. You have
What?
you have the Yakuza games. You have Virtual Fighter, which we're getting a new one of, which is super cool. I know that a lot of people are excited about that. It looks really awesome. But they also made a lot of stuff, and they're a lot of classic stuff like Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio. I was thinking Jet Grind Radio, but that's, I think, the European title. You know, stuff like that, and Daytona, and all that fun stuff. But there's one particular title that has always been like a cult classic status, and a game that I enjoyed, which is called Dreams into Nights. And I'm like, that one is, wait, I'm saying the title correct, right? Or because
I think it's Nights into Dreams.
Did I say it wrong?
You said Dreams into Nights. I think it's Nights into Dreams.
You're right. It is Nights into Dreams.
It's okay. We keep going. We keep chugging along.
Yeah. So Nights into Dreams was this Sega team game that was made on the Sega Dreamcast, which was, I think, their first like released 3D title, which for some reason was released on the Sega Saturn, which at the time did not have a 3D controller, so it did not have an analog stick on their controller. They had to make a specific controller just so you could play Nights properly. So yeah, if the reason why you're thinking if you buy like a Saturn used and it doesn't come with a controller that has like an analog stick on it, that's the reason why. Because it usually did not come with an analog stick.
No.
Unless you like own Nights. I think even for, I'd have to double check, but I think like other when that happened, like games like Panzer Dragoon were actually playable now, so that's pretty cool. And like for those that don't know what Nights is, could you, because you've played it, Denny?
Yes.
Could you give a little 411 on like what Nights is about?
So Nights is an interesting game. The story is very simple. Essentially, you're controlling. You're in this dream world. It's called Nightopia.
Yeah.
Basically, you play as two characters. They have their own real life problems, and then they go into this dream world, where they kind of just fight evil and triumph. I mean, this is the most Cliff Notes possible thing, but basically, you turn into this resident of that dream world, which is known as Night, and you control them, and they're the ones that allow you to fly and maneuver. And the whole point was really, this game was developed to really show off the Saturn's 3D capabilities. And basically, I'm going to say this really here quickly. As much as I have respect for this game, I have a small hatred for this game.
Wait,
and I'll explain later why.
Okay.
Why? Okay, so we're going to get into this here. This game was produced by what's his name, Yuji Naka, and they built a very specific engine. It was called the Nights engine, which powers this game. Now, this was also being developed around the same time as Sonic Extreme, the canceled Sonic Extreme game, the canceled Sonic game for the Saturn. Nights was developed in Japan. Sonic Extreme was being developed in America. And what happened was they were having problems with an engine. So they actually went and used the Nights engine to build a demo, Sonic Extreme, they had a build for it. And Yuji Naka was so upset that he basically provided an ultimatum to Sega that if they want to use that engine, I'm out. We're not giving them any support for it. Figure it out on your own. I do not want them using this engine. And that was one of the nails in the coffin for Sonic Extreme, because they could not just get it off the ground. Funnily enough, in the Christmas demo, you can play as Sonic, which was weird and like a real spit in the face, I feel. But no, the game is very interesting because you use Night to really do a lot of the work. You only use those main characters to kind of find Night in the world, or the dream. There's only like 7 levels in the game. And Night is the one that is kind of flying and collecting all these orbs and stuff to give her the power to defeat enemies. And you like, it's a very fluid game. Like I would harken to something almost like, do you remember, what was it called? Flower or Journey? Flower, I think, on the PS3. Yeah. It's a very fluid game. So as you get used to it, it's
closer to Flower. Yeah.
Yeah. And the analog controller is very handy because it does give you that fluid motion. Just to refresh myself this morning before we hopped on, I was playing Nights. I think I still have it loaded on my PC because I have it on Steam as well. And I was playing it with a PS4 controller. I was trying it with a directional pad, and I switched to the analog control, and I'm like, yeah, there's a reason why they made that controller specifically for this game. I think game bundled with this game in certain copies.
Yeah, I think they did do bundles with it afterwards, yes. Yeah. So yeah, nights, great, like a great experience. I mean, it's not like you said, it's not that long of a game. It's not that challenging of a game. Maybe the boss fights can like deliver a bit of a challenge, but it's not really. It's not really challenging. You don't have to worry about like not being able to beat it. So that's and that's fine, right? So a little while after it was released, Sega had the bright idea of having the devs make a not a well a demo. I mean, you could say it is technically a demo, and that they released to. I don't know how they put it out because there were not a lot of copies that went out for this.
So
And
in
they
North America,
Yeah,
sorry to cut you off. In
yeah,
North America, if I'm not mistaken, you got a sampler in a magazine or through Pizza Hut. One of the two, I can't remember.
yeah. Hang on. Okay, I have it here. Yeah, so 50,000 copies were distributed, at least in Europe, which were bundles with consoles, if you purchased 2 Saturn titles, or as a gift for the first 200 people that signed up to UK Saturn magazine, Sega Saturn magazine, during the month of December. Now, December is a very peculiar reason why it was released at that time, because what we're talking about is Christmas Nights into Dreams, which is a demo that is Christmas themed. It's just one level of nights, but in Christmas themes, like the whole dream world is Christmassy. Nights is in like a Christmas outfit, and this is really cool for a few reasons, right? The reason why where we're talking about this is that this demo is timed. So one of the cool things that the Saturn has is that it has one of the first, if not the first system that had a built-in clock. So before this, you didn't have like a console that had a built-in clock. If you wanted to have something with a built-in clock, you were playing on PC.
Yeah, sounds about right.
The Saturn having that clock, they were like, hey, we can do some cool stuff with this demo if they play it during certain times of the year. So if you're playing this in, say, December, where the moment when it was released, it would play normally. So it would play in the Christmas theming. It had achievements, if you want to call them, where you could get different kind of presents. They call them Christmas presents. It's all themed. It makes sense once you go through it and all things. So there are different things. So you can unlock like a karaoke mode where you can sing the theme song for Nights, which is such a gosh darn banger. It's ridiculous. I don't dare play it, but like on YouTube, but it's such a banger. I swear, it's so good. Like if you will kind of look it up. It's called Dream Dreams, and it's such a cool banger. Like it's such a great song. There's also a bunch of other stuff that you can unlock. You can unlock the Nights Museum, where you can view like artwork and stuff like that. You can do time attack for the one level. There are other goods that you can get in there. There's also some like videos in there, which is crazy if you think about it from the time. There is the Nightopian collection. So these little critters in the dream world called Nightopians. You can collect those. The melody box, like I said before, that's the sound test, not the karaoke. So there's a karaoke and then there's also a sound test. And then you can also play as Sonic in this one as well, which is really cool. The other cool thing about this is that because it is timed, because it uses the internal clock, it knows what season it is, essentially, depending on the day.
Yeah.
So if you play this in December, around, moving up to Christmas and beyond December, and I think up to somewhere in January, it will play Christmas Nights. If you played the demo outside of that, there's nothing. It's just a normal demo. So no Christmas theming, nothing. If you play it leading up to Christmas, So like in say November, let me look it up real quickly here. So in November and January, sorry. So November and January, it's winter nights. So it has a winter theming, not a Christmas theming. Christmas theming is only in December. And any other month, it's just a normal nights demo. There are some other things that you can do. So for example, on New Year's Day, the title screen changes, which is really nice because the kids wear different clothing on the title screen. And on April Fool's Day, you can play as Knights' counterpart, Riala. So Riala is basically one of the enemies. It's a clone Knights. So Knights is the good guy, Riala is the enemy.
With like a Harley Quinn type of
kind of a Harley
with the black and red.
Exactly, yeah. So that's like for April Fools, and like that is great, right? This is, I mean, like really understand this fact, right? It's a demo. All it has to do is show you like what the game entails and if it's fun, so that you can tell if it's fun or not. The fact that they put this much effort into a demo is so crazy. I'll admit this, I only recently found out that Christmas Night had this feature. The only thing that I knew about Christmas Night is that the theme song had a Christmas version of it. That is it. And that was Christmas themed. And I thought that was a unique way to make a demo. Until recently, I did not know about all these other features that this demo had, which is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, we're so used to demos. Like, I remember going to the grocery store, getting like a PlayStation Magazine demo disc, and it had like 5 games. You play like a level, and it's like, thanks for playing, bye, right?
Yeah.
But like, no, this is probably one of the more robust demos that really have a reason for you to come back. And the truth of the matter is, you know, obviously people did come back, or else how would we find all of this? Obviously, there's no little manual that comes in that sampler disc that says play it between January 1st and 15th and get a Happy New Year's message.
Yeah, and this came out in like 1996, so there were no data miners back then.
No data mining, maybe some forums. I don't know. I can't remember what the internet was like in the late 90s.
Nah, but probably forums and BBSs.
Yes, but like again, let's put it like this. Not easily accessible information like we have today, where we can go on like a wiki or something and find out.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, right?
Yeah. So
no, it's a great demo.
Have you tried it?
No, I have not. I unfortunately do not have the physical sampler. I have the physical Knights game. It came with a Sega Saturn I bought off of Facebook Marketplace.
Nice.
But like I said, I also have the Steam version because I think I copped it for free somehow, or got a really good cheap deal on it. So the only way I can play it, I know it's unlockable in all the remasters, so it is preserved in some way, which is nice.
Yeah.
Like all of the features are still available in the remake or the remaster. So I might, you know what, I would take maybe an afternoon and play Knights. Hey, maybe that'll be a game I can do on stream. And try and unlock the Christmas sampler and see what it looks like in the middle of February. I don't know. Maybe there's a Valentine's theme that we don't know about yet.
Oh, who knows? But yeah, that is. So I kind of went in a kind of like a rabbit hole thing of like that is amazing, because like game demos today, and like even back then, like most of them, like you said, were just you play a level of the game, or you get a little sampler of the game, or like a vertical slice of the game, and like that's it. It didn't have any kind of rewards, or it didn't have any kind of unlockables, and you didn't really need that. I mean, you don't really need that, but if you here's how I see it: if you're going to do a demo and you want to make it kind of stick, or at least keep people talking about the game that you're trying to promote, doing stuff like this I feel is like really awesome. I know it takes a lot more effort for developers to do so, and I'm not saying like, hey, like do crunch and do a demo like that. If it's gonna take too much time to make it, don't do it. Like demo like this or otherwise, right? But when they do have the time and the time to put in the effort, I feel like go a little bit further, because these days you have mostly, at least for RPGs, where you have the demo be like the first couple of hours of the game, and then you can transfer the save. That's a cool feature. I would never advocate for that to stop. Please do that, because that gets people invested in what they have already put time and effort in. And if it's something that they enjoy, now they have a save file that they can continue off of when they buy the full game, which is great. You don't have to be like, oh, now I have to play it all over again, or hey, this is different than the vertical slice that they made, because a vertical slice does not necessarily have to be a part of the game. It just has to have the main gameplay mechanics that you want to promote, right? So that is not actually what the final game is, but it's just a unique experience. Which also, by the way, when they do those, I do appreciate that, because one, if it's a story-based game, there are no spoilers, and two, it shows you basically it highlights the positives of that game. So as I went through it, I was like, were there demos like this? Or at least in that kind of range? And apparently there were a lot. And then I looked at the list and I was like, oh, wait, that's right. Back in the 3DS era, the demos that they put out for Pokemon were actually really good. They were essentially a vertical slice that you could replay multiple times. And through the multiple times of playthroughs, you could unlock certain things. For example, I want to say the demo for Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby lets you get Ash Greninja in Sun and Moon. Sorry, no, that was not the demo. The demo for Sun and Moon gave you access to Ash Greninja. So when you beat that demo, so you go through it a bunch of times and you unlock stuff like Pokeballs and potions and stuff like that you need early on in the game. But it also unlocked the ability to get Ash Greninja in Sun and Moon. And only in Sun and Moon, because if you transfer that Greninja to another game, it loses the ability of Ash Greninja.
Really?
Which is kind of a bummer. So do not ever transfer that Pokemon out of Sun and Moon, because that is pointless. Which is kind of sad, because I think that Ash Greninja was that, and the Zygarde stuff in Sun and Moon were left over from whatever they were doing for Pokemon C, because when they did X and Y, they never did a third version. And I think it came out that they were working on something, because I think that got leaked, that they were working on a third version, but I don't think it went past like the early stages. And then it was time for the 7th gen. So they just put that stuff in there. So now I guess with Pokemon Legends ZA, I think, that's my speculation, I think that whatever they wanted to do with that now is property of Pokemon Legends ZA, and maybe they'll do something there. So I don't know, but I guess we'll see when that comes out. So that's pretty cool. Pokemon Pokemon Auras, easier to say. That also had a demo where you can unlock certain stuff in it as well if you play through it multiple times. No Pokemon, unfortunately, but it did get you like items that you could use like early on, which is always nice.
It's always handy to have extra items. You can never have enough items in Pokemon games.
Yeah. I think you said that you also played one of these demos on this list.
Yeah, actually, I think a couple, if I'm not mistaken. I've definitely played the Final Fantasy 15 Platinum demo.
Yeah, does that have anything specific in it?
It's actually, so it doesn't give you anything or transfer anything, but it's actually outside of the main story of Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, okay. So that is like a vertical slice.
Yeah. So so this came out very early, not early, I should say. This was released about, I want to say 8 months before the final game.
Oh, that was early.
Yeah. So it is more of it was designed as a tech demo. And basically what you do is you play as the main character, Noctis, is you play him as a child in a dream world. And you're assisted with a carbuncle summon.
Oh.
And it gets you kind of just a feel for what the gameplay mechanics were like at the time. As you kind of go through this little dream world. to get out, and you basically stop by fighting this iron giant, and then he transforms into his normal big boy self, and then just totally kicks butt. But yeah, it's essentially standalone, totally outside of Final Fantasy 15. You'll never play that portion in Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
But it was released as a tech demo and just giving you the ability to play and get a feel for the battle system, because obviously with Final Fantasy 15 it's got a bit of a unique battle system, and it's actually evolved over years of patches and updates.
Yeah.
So I did play that. It was pretty cool. They did release a regular demo after that, which was more a chunk of the world of the full game later. But
So
this was
more
a
of
very
a standard demo. Yeah.
Exactly. But this one was unique because it had a completely different story. They set it in a dream world. You're playing as, a child version of the main. Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting, and very early. So if you could go back and play that demo, you would see a lot of the differences that they made, not only just like UI, but the way the game played. It's evolved from March to November's release.
Okay.
Along with that, I feel like I played Resident Evil 7's demo. Because it also was a standalone demo. It was called Beginning Hour, which I think it's still available on like Steam.
Yeah. That did have a demo, didn't it?
It did. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken as well, this also is a separate, isolated demo, because you can actually replay it and have like multiple endings depending on how many murders you solve in the demo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's like a bad ending, a true ending. There is something called the dirty coin, which I've heard about, but it's an item that's transferable into the full version of Resident Evil 7. And I think you have to get that by solving all the murders or whatever in the original game. I don't even know what it does. I'm gonna look this up. The dirty coin.
Dang, that's crazy though.
But yeah, that game scared the crap out of me, and really like the demo was horrifying. It was scary, right?
Yeah, that's why the Resident Evil 7 Village. I'm good.
Village, I don't mind. Like, I love the original Resident Evil games, because like last year I did play all the remakes, so I played like 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, I still want to play 4 so bad.
Oh, it's so good. But I want to see what it does as an extra antique. Okay, so if you get the dirty coin in the demo, it actually acts as an antique coin, which you use to buy power-ups and stuff in the main game.
In the main game.
So
okay,
it gives you kind of like a boost to be able to unlock stuff.
Cool.
But still, smart idea. PT, I wanted to play, I just didn't, but I've heard great things about PT.
PT's crazy. PT, like, if you play PT, you'll understand the anger that the gaming community had when that got canceled, because the way it's set up, right? It's technically a very short. You can't even call it a demo. It's a experience, right? Because you go through it multiple times. It's basically just looping like corridor, where oh my god, seriously, okay. Where you essentially have to solve through the loops. You have to solve what's going on, and you have to be careful because there is this spirit that basically can kill you, and then you have to start over, or you have to start the loop over, to be more specific. And once you figure everything out, it then shows you the actual ending to the experience, where it teases that a new Silent Hill game is in the work, and it stars Norman Reedus, and it's being done by Kojima. That's basically what that is.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, it was a great
cool
way.
It was
super cool. Great way to bring hype to the project.
Yeah, because people were super excited, and then unfortunately, that's basically where stuff hit the fan, and Konami was like, "Yeah, we're kind of done with you guys."
Yeah. Now I've heard.
Yes.
I've heard that someone is remaking, or there's a remake of the PT demo.
Yeah. Oh, I heard that too. Yeah. Yeah, someone is
through
kind
like
of like,
Unreal or Unity.
yeah, I don't know if it's a remake per se, or I think it's more of a reimagining, because if they remake it, Konami could strike them down. So I think it's more like a reimagining so that it's legally distinct enough so that they don't get in trouble. uh,
Maybe, but that'd be interesting. Yeah.
yeah. Yep. So there
Oh
are
wow, it's 7 years old.
yeah,
That
yeah,
port is 7 years old. Anyway, sorry, go on.
yeah. We're getting old. So yeah, so there are a bunch of like crazy demos like that out there. Some are a bit on the older side, like Age of Empires apparently had a unique demo. Fallout Tactics had a unique demo, and Fallout 1 had a unique demo, if you can believe that. Um, Secret of Monkey Island. I don't know which version of Secret of Monkey Island had a unique demo, but I mean, it's a point and click title. Okay, it's the original one from the 90s
Yeah, I was gonna say
that
it's
had
from the
a,
90s.
yeah, that has a unique demo in there as well, which makes sense because it's a point and click game. You don't want to give them a demo that gives them all the answers, so having a unique demo that shows off how, like, what you can expect from that game in terms of like story and like feel is probably a better thing to do. So, I mean, basically, what I want to say is that I would love to see more unique demos like this. I know, again, it is not a possibility for developers to do this all the time, but in this day and age, most of the demos are either straightforward, or if you're lucky, it does unlock stuff. But again, I feel like Japanese developers tend to do this more often than not. Japanese developers will make a demo that unlocks stuff in the game, or unfortunately, the thing that you see mostly now is that pre-order bonuses happen. So instead of having a demo that gives you something for free, now you have to spend money to get stuff that would be for free, which is a little bit disappointing. That trend set in, and it's a thing that you still see happening. I mean, Monster Hunter Wilds also has that. It's like, oh, like if
Yep.
you pre-order the game, I think there is one thing you had. I think Monster Hunter Wilds does have, if you play the next open beta, if you participate in that, you do get unlockables that are tied to having played the beta. So it does have a pre-order bonus, but it also has the if you participated in the open beta, which is nice, which is another way of like playing a demo and getting something out of that experience,
Yeah.
which is a nice way to incentivize people to like not only check out the game in terms of like the open beta, but also have a higher possibility of them actually buying the game afterwards, because then they can unlock their unique set, which they can show off in game, which is really cool. So I kind of hope that, so basically my message is, I hope more devs find a way to be able to make more unique demos or unique preview experiences for gamers, so that they have more of an incentive, not only just an incentive to buy the game afterwards, obviously, but more of a unique experience that might get them interested in actually buying said game.
But not only that, I think with demos, you get like a really hardcore group of people who are very passionate about a franchise, invested, especially when they get to play something early. So I'll give you a great example here that always sticks to my mind when we talk about demos. Up in Canada, we had when the Dreamcast was selling, and around the announcement of Sonic Adventure 2, they made a Sonic bundle for the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
So it was $100 for the bundle. You got the Dreamcast, you got the controller, you got a translucent blue VMU memory card.
Oh, nice.
You got so good. I have it here somewhere. You get a copy of Sonic Adventure 1. You get a copy of Sonic Shuffle. And then you got a trial disc for Sonic Adventure 2.
Oh, that's a good bundle.
Yeah. Now, the weird thing about this trial disc is, like, I think it's only one level, which is City Escape. But it is kind of like at that existing build. So if you play the trial, the cool thing about it is that it has a different logo. Sonic model is different because it's still using his original shoes and not the soap shoes.
Oh, dang. Okay.
And there's some other stuff that was in there as well. Like, and it's a special disc. Like, it was only sold in a specific bundle, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like the sampler, like what's it called? Nights, Dreams into Nights, Nights into Dreams. Was it as robust? No, but you did get to play like a stripped down version of the 2-player mode. And you see these little changes, and I think like for people who are eagle-eyed or people who are passionate about a fan base, having that demo creates a different level of hype even after the game has come out, because you're able to discuss and engage in a conversation about the differences, right?
True.
But it's just great when they send something out like that. Even the version of the theme song, or the song that plays, a very famous song for Sonic fans, for City Escape. It's just an instrumental version, because in the original game it's an actual vocal song, like lyrics, been singing it. So really cool little nuances like that are neat to see. And I think, just another level of like what a demo brings to keep, the hype alive.
True. So again, I really hope that we see more cool stuff like that going forward in the future, because there's a lot of games that are on the horizon, and who knows, they might do something as cool as this. They might also just give us a simple demo, which is also fine. Don't hate on demos, because demos are the things that get people over the threshold sometimes to actually purchase a game. And it's a great way for other people to promote your game to other people that might be interested in it, and be like, hey, did you know that this game had a demo? Try it out. And like, either it's a really cool demo, or hey, this gives you like the experience of what you think of what you can expect from this game. Maybe give that a shot, and if you like it, hey, maybe you want to buy it. Maybe on discount, maybe right away. That depends on the person, right? But the point is, with a demo, which is, I feel like there was a time where we had a lot of game demos, and then they started to vanish, and it looks like they're slowly making a resurgence again, kind of, sort of. I would love to see more demos come out for video games that are very highly anticipated, especially because that way you can, you also have that unique thing. It's a shame that you have to download it now and hope that they don't take it down. But yeah, I mean, stuff like that is really cool to see. So I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to add about your experience, at least with demos, that you'd like to share before we sign off.
Yeah, demos are great. I'm actually really sad that we get less of them. As a kid growing up, I know I didn't have a lot of money for video games, so buying that demo disc for $5.99 and waiting till next month, but then being able to play and sample like 5 or 6 games and just really, really play them and really, really like them. You know, it's a feeling I don't think I'd ever forget. And I think it's an appreciation for the demo disc in general, or demos in general.
Yeah, or demos included with games.
Exactly, right? Yeah. That's what made me buy Dragon Quest 8 on the PS2, because I had a demo for Final Fantasy 12. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, demos I feel like are something we need to really keep in the industry, because I don't think we get enough of them now. Compared to like when you go to Xbox, like you buy a console, like when you went back and bought an Xbox 360, you could live off of demos for a while, before you could save up for a game or whatever. And it's just, I feel like it's a fair way to really, really be able to tell if you're going to be invested in a game, especially with so many, when there's new IPs, new properties, and just so much coming out. Like, a big investment to fork down $100 for a game these days. We need demos so that we can continue to make informed decisions. And just be truly able to enjoy a hobby that can at times be very expensive.
No kidding. Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, thank you, Denny. Thank you guys so much for watching, for listening to this episode of Game Rivals. Denny, as our guest, can you tell everybody where they can find you?
Absolutely. I'm mostly active on Instagram. That's where I post a lot of stuff when it comes to streams, clips, what I'm playing, what I'm not playing, what I hate. And of course, you can catch me on Twitch. I stream 3 times a week, usually in the evening, Eastern time, like around 8 o'clock. You can catch me play those games. So come along, backseat game. Tell me I'm doing awesome. Tell me how I can do better. Or just try and break the stream. That's what everyone does with all of the sound alerts and channel point stuff. So just come in. We have a great time. There's no pressure. Talk about your day. Talk about your life. And yeah, you can find all of my stuff on my Linktree. So Linktree/denirukungaming.
Yeah, I'll definitely put that in the description link. So don't worry about that as well. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. You can always find Game Rivals on your favorite podcasting service. Our home is on Spotify, but you can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Cast, you name it, we're there. You can also, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell button to get notified when a new episode goes live. You can also find me, Maximilian X, on Instagram mostly. And you can also find me on Blue Sky. I'll post my Linktree in the comments as well. And yeah, I think that's about it. So once again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. I have been and always will be Maximilian X, along with our guest Denirukun, and we'll see all of you lovely people next time. Later.
Ciao.